right. Okay, guys, we're gathered here this afternoon to go through 25 CISSP practice questions. And if you're new, welcome. First of all, we're gonna, if you can see my screen now, I'm gonna click start on this. Once the questions come up, I'll read the question. A lot of folks go ahead and read along before me, but I kind of read it out just for the, because we post these sessions, I'm recording these and we post them to YouTube. So for those folks, I like to read out the question so they can listen to it while they're commuting to and from work. So when I click start and read the question, just, wait a second, don't blurt out the answer. Just let me know when you're ready. And then I'll say, go ahead, and anyone can yell out what they think the correct answer is. I encourage discussion, communication, share your knowledge, and we'll try to get through all 25 questions within an hour. All right, and here we go. Question number one, that is a microprocessor engineer who makes a one-time programming change on a memory chip. Because the particular chip type, he is only allowed that one change. What type of memory chip is that using? Yeah, we've seen this one before.
I'm ready.
Yeah, we've gone through 10 sessions now, 25 questions apiece. They're all uploaded on YouTube. You can search for CyberSecStudy in YouTube, and you'll see all these sessions. But yeah, this is one we've seen. Go ahead.
It's Charlie.
Prom. Prom is ROM that you can write over once only. EEPROM and EEPROM are both examples of being able to rewrite multiple times. Question number two, what characteristic of a trusted process does not allow users unrestricted access to sensitive data? Characteristic of a trusted process. Yeah, this is a new one, but I think it's pretty straightforward. Unrestricted access to sensitive data is what's key for me.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I think it's Bravo.
Okay, anybody else?
I think it's Charlie.
Yeah, I think Charlie also.
Yeah, I'm going for Charlie.
Yeah, unrestricted access to sensitive. So they have access to sensitive data, but not unrestricted access. They can't see everything, only the stuff that they need to know for their job. That simple security rule is an axiom of the Bella Padula, I believe it was.
Yeah.
No read up, no write down. I think it's the no read up rule. All right, if everyone could put your could go on mute unless you're talking. I appreciate it. I'm getting some background. All right, question number three. What does the security auditor, or who does the security auditor report to? We've seen this one before.
I'm ready.
Okay, what do you got?
I think D.
Yeah, anyone else?
I was going for D.
Yeah, I think we last time we saw this one, we were back and forth between external audit organization or senior management. And just because it's an auditor does not mean it's an external auditor. It could be an internal auditor, and this question doesn't specify, so we selected senior manager, implying that it's an internal auditor. Number four, in a relational database, which of the following represents the table rows?
I'm ready.
All right.
It's a layup. Go for it.
B.
Bravo.
Bravo. Records or tuples. Remember we saw one last week where it gave us the answer of records and then a separate answer as tuples when they're really both the same. Question number 5, the unauthorized disclosure of information defined as secret would by definition result in which of the following levels of damage?
I'm ready.
Disclosure of secret information.
I'm ready. Sorry about
All right, anyone else? All right, go for it.
it. This one's D. This is the military thing.
So secret information would have serious damage. Top secret information would have grave, I believe it is.
Yeah, they say exceptionally grave damage.
Yeah. All right. Number 6, one advantage of prototyping is that all right, any take? What's that?
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
It's alpha, I think.
Anyone else? Yeah, I think I agree with you on this one. The stuff I've seen about prototyping dealt with if you build a sample of the functionality of a tool, which would be considered a prototype, you get to have a better idea of how it works and if you're on the right track or not. And I believe that can save time and money. But we will see. All right, number 7, an old laptop used by a network technician has many device configuration files, passwords, and text strings on it, even though the data has been erased. What is this type of information known as?
I'm ready.
Yeah, this is a layup.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
It's B.
Bravo.
Data remnants. You erased the data, and the remnants of that data are still there and can still be recovered. Got to use special software, but it can be done. Question number 8, the estimate lifetime of a device or the estimated time frame until a component within a device gives out is called. So the estimated time of a device or estimated time frame until a component within a device gives out.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
It's delta.
Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, this question, the correct answer would be mean time to failure. So when
That's what I was thinking too.
you bring something out brand new out of the box, you turn it on, how long is it going to run before you have your first failure? That's mean time to failure. And then after you've had that first failure, then you're dealing with mean time to repair. How long is it going to take you to repair the damage? And then once you've repaired it and it's back in operating again, how long is it going to operate before you have your second failure? That's mean time between failures. But they don't have mean time to failure listed here unless this MTTB is, they changed the acronym a bit to be where it should be MTTF. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and go with this one and imply that we've already had one failure. Now we're looking for the second. All right, number 9, which of the following is a true statement pertaining to TACACS, XTACACS, and TACACS Plus? We've seen this one before. Oh, actually, we've seen a variation, not this exact one. All right, any takers?
I think D for Delta.
All right, anyone else? Now, what I know about these is that TACACS has the least functionality. X-TACACS has more. TACACS Plus has even more, but neither of these are backward compatible. They're created by separate authors. But one thing in contention here is whether the different components are modular or not. So like in Alpha where it says it separates authentication and authorization, that is a capability of XTACACS and TACACS Plus. That's not a capability of TACACS. For Charlie, XTACACS combines, I don't believe XTACACS or TACACS Plus combines the AAA because they're later model technologies and they separate those things. So I'm thinking it has to be Bravo. TACACS Plus allows for two-factor authentication with dynamic passwords. That is a greater functionality that TACACS doesn't provide. Anybody have anything or disagree? And we'll see on the back end. All right, number 10, which of the following is a directive issued by senior management that identifies goals, measurements, and responsibilities? Senior management directive identifies goals. Yeah, I think this is a layup. Anyone?
I think it's
I'm writing.
A.
Anyone
Yes.
else? Yep, policies alpha. I would like it better if they said high level goals, but they didn't go into. There's nothing that implies that there are specific guidelines, procedures, or step-by-step instructions. Standards are mandatory for specific industries, and baselines are a state from which to begin. All right, number 11. Which of the following terms describes a system where the user can grant access to resources they own to anyone at any time, and system administrators have the ability to change ownership and permissions on resources as necessary?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think this is a layup. All right, go for it.
It's B.
Discretionary access. At their discretion, the owners of the file, the users who created the file or folder or whatever object, can assign permissions. Number 12, which of the following assesses the potential loss from disaster? The potential loss from a disaster.
I'm writing.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I'm going for B.
Anyone else?
I said
Charlie.
Charlie.
Yeah, I'm thinking Charlie also. The business impact assessment is going to identify business processes. It's going to identify which business processes are more critical than others. It's going to identify what people perform those processes and what tools and systems they use to implement those processes. But the giveaway for me on this one is potential loss from a disaster. Risk is the likelihood versus the impact of a disaster or an exposure. But yeah, our formal definition for risk is the likelihood versus the impact of a threat exposing a vulnerability. And I hate going against Steve because I usually don't come out on the winning end.
You have a good point. I was reading it kind of wrong.
All right, we'll see. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right anyway. All right, number 13. What is social engineering?
B.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I think somewhere said D.
Delta. Yeah, I thought I heard. I couldn't tell if I heard Bravo or Delta. But yeah, social engineering. Those are not the droids you're looking for. Number 14, which of the following statements is true with respect to firewalling technologies? Is true with respect to firewalling technologies. Okay, I think I'm ready. Anyone else?
I'm 50-50, but
Go ahead and take that educated guess.
it's C or A or C, I think, because they have the same thing, the staple.
Stateful inspection firewall. I remember Sean Harris's book saying that a stateful inspection firewall is like the little old lady that sits out on the front stoop and monitors everything that happens in the neighborhood. So a stateful inspection firewall will see all the traffic that comes from the inside to the outside, what type of ports, protocols, services are being sent from inside to the outside, and then only allow that type of traffic back in. And I think that's what Charlie is saying. This.
You know what's funny is I'm actually a firewall jockey, and I'm looking at this and the way it was written, it's really hard to decipher.
Yeah. But Charlie,
I know proxy has more layers than that.
Right.
And B is definitely wrong. Packet filtering routers for application based. That should be a layer 3. So I knew it can't be that.
Yeah.
Not only that, it says that it's the last line of defense. That's not really true. Packet filtering is actually the first layer of defense because it's the first. It was a firewall that came along well before stateful inspection did. So anyway, I think you're right with C. It's worded oddly, in my opinion.
Yeah. I would agree that a lot of these are a bit odd the way they word these things, but yeah, we'll see. All right, number 15, when a system is said to be operating in problem state, what does this mean?
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I'm ready.
I'm going for the obvious. I think it's C. I'm not sure though.
I agree. I agree.
Same here. Anybody disagree? Yeah, let's go for Charlie. All right, 16, McKenna performs the following data tasks. Number 1, assigns data classification levels to meet her business unit's specific needs. Number 2, determines which users can access data. 3, verifies security controls are in place and working correctly. Which of the following roles is McKenna performing? We've seen this before.
I'm ready.
That's a layup. All right, go for it.
It's data owner C.
Charlie, data owner. Yep. And don't let the verifying security controls in place. That doesn't mean she's implementing them, but she's verifying that the data custodian implemented them correctly. Number 17, when should the security department become involved in the application development process?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I think this is the layup here. Go for it.
Delta.
Yeah, I went for Delta.
Delta, yep. During requirements development as early in the system development lifecycle as possible. 18, what type of computer memory improves system performance by acting as a special storage area for information that is retrieved often?
I'm ready.
Yeah, this is kind of technical, but I think it's a layup. Go ahead, go for it.
I think Delta.
Yep, anyone else?
I was going for Delta too.
Yep, I agree. Cache memory.
I actually think it's something else, but let's see.
Okay.
No, I'm not in the consensus, so go.
Okay. Yeah, cache. I remember cache being temporary storage for quick access.
True, but for some reason I think it's alpha, and I can't remember why.
Okay. Yeah, I know
So that's why
primary storage is storage that's in the computer connected to the motherboard. And then alternate storage is storage that's connected to the computer via input-output cables. And then virtual memory is you're using hard drive space to act as RAM. But yeah, we'll see on the back end. All right, 19. Yep. Radius and TACACS Plus work in a client-server model, and Diameter works in a peer-to-peer model. What is the benefit of using this peer-to-peer model?
Absolutely clueless.
Yeah, well, this is one where they're giving us the question itself gives us information. So look out on the exam for situations where the question tells you a fact, or if you've got scratch paper or if they allow you to be able to write down notes. This is one where I'd write down that Radius and TACACS are client server and Diameter is peer to peer. But A, B, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie talk about clients or servers. Delta is an outlier here, maybe because it says it allows the user to access resources in several domains without needing to authenticate. I think that speaks to a peer-to-peer model, and it doesn't mention server or client. So, anybody disagree?
I was going for a D2 or A.
Okay.
But
all right, we'll
it's
see.
as good as any one of them.
All right. All right, number 20, which of the following best describes a continuity of operations plan? Remember, continuity of operations is our overarching objective to maintain business continuity.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
It's A. We picked B last time, I think. We got it wrong.
Yeah, it's A.
Yeah, I remember this one. And if you guys are going back to listen to these episodes that we post on YouTube, I usually just scroll to the end where we go through the answers because we may have gotten something wrong during the question answer session. But when we're reviewing, we get to see what's what. All right, 21. Which of the following has correct RAID level mappings? I need to bring up.
I'm ready.
I think we've seen something similar to this one. Anyone else ready?
I have a 50-50 guess. I'm not really sure.
All right, hold on just
Go for it. Oh.
No, you can go ahead and go for it though.
I was going for A or B. I'm not really sure.
Actually, I think it's C.
Interleave. I've never even heard of. I don't even know what that word means. Interleave parity.
That means that the parity is spread among the primary drives, so that when one drive drops off, the spare drive and the RAID uses all parity striping to rebuild itself.
Oh yeah, if that's the case, then that I will definitely go for that then, because I didn't even know what interleave meant.
Would you select again?
I selected RAID 5. That's my thought.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't have that listed on my muscle memory chart. So this is another reason why I encourage folks to bring up the muscle memory charts when you go through practice questions, because you get a chance to add information to the charts. So see, RAID level 3 is byte level, not block level. RAID
Right.
level 4 is block level, not byte level. RAID 1, I don't list anything about Hamming code, and RAID 5, I don't list interleave parity, but I'm going to write that in there just in case this is right. I just have block parity, but yeah, we'll see. Take the 5. Let me change my screen again.
Well, so when you're dealing with RAID 5, what you have is you have striping with parity. So what that means is that all the data is spread across a minimum of 2 drives, and then you have the spares sitting there. So with the interleave parity, and well, actually, I guess I'm repeating myself, but with the striping and the parity spread across the entire RAID, that's how it rebuilds itself into the last drive.
Right.
The spare, why you have to have a total of 3. And the term interleave tells me that it's spread or striped. It's another word for striping if you want to look at it that way.
So
striping the parity across.
Right. So you wouldn't have like one drive dedicated for parity data.
Parity. Correct.
You would be striping that parity data across multiple drives, essentially.
Correct. And if you only had one drive that had parity on it, that would be dangerous, because what happens if that one drive fails?
Yep.
And then you have a secondary drive out of the RAID fail, then you have nothing to rebuild the RAID array with.
Yep. There you
Does that
go.
make sense?
Yep. Okay. Yep. Thank you for that. All right.
Yeah. Let's see if I'm right.
You're right. Let's see on the back end. I think we're getting 100 on this one. Question number 22. Yeah. MPLS offers the following benefits except.
I'm ready. I think we saw this one before.
We saw it last week.
Yeah. All right, go for it.
Go for it.
I think Bravo.
Yeah. That's what I was leaning towards too. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I think. I remember it differently, but I'm not going to say, because I don't know that I'm right. So let's go for that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see the explanation on the back end. Number 23, which is untrue of a packet filtering firewall?
I'm ready.
Okay. Go for it.
It's alpha.
Yeah, I'm thinking high security. Anyone else? Packet filtering. All right, we'll see. Number 24, what is the term used to describe the systematic evaluation of the exchange point between a graphical data system and the system's user? I think we've seen this question more than any other.
Yeah, I think this is like a 4th time. I'm ready.
Yeah, go for it.
It's D.
Interface testing. How the user interfaces with that graphical interface. 25. Overriding and or degaussing are used to clear and purge all of the following except.
We've seen this one too.
Yeah.
I can remember.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
B, no, Bravo.
Yeah, I think it was Bravo. I think we selected A last time, but we
Yeah.
know it must C or D.
And I remember going through an explanation of, or reading the explanation about what data buses were.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't like this one because overriding and degaussing should not be in the same category. Overriding will is just like deleting or partitioning a drive. You still have data remnants, and the media can still be reused and the data can still be recovered. But with degaussing, the media is gone and the media device or the information is gone and the media can't be reused. So
Mhm.
Don, which one is the one that does not work on magnetic drives?
well, degaussing only works on magnetic drives. It doesn't work on non-magnetic type media.
I see.
It's a large magnet that destroys the um, at a molecular level.
I don't think there's. I can't think of anything that doesn't work on magnetic drives. I mean, overriding, degaussing, all of that, scrubbing. That's all going to work on magnetic drives. They're the most vulnerable. But you get into CDs and glass-coated discs, and that's where degaussing doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. That's I think that's what you were getting at or trying to get to, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one I know that I don't know if it was like does not work with or only works with. So I think you guys answered it for sure.
Okay.
All right, fingers crossed. Although we're not concerned about scores on these. Yeah,
Hmm.
not bad. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3 wrong. Let's see what it prom, that was a layup, number 1. Memory can be altered only once. Need to know, a system that enforces need to know does not allow subjects to access objects unless they have been granted formal approval, which is based on a need to know. Yep, the auditor, number 3, security auditor is responsible for reporting to senior management about the effectiveness of security controls and their compliance with security policy objectives. It could be an internal or an external auditor. Number 4, the rows of the table represent records or tuples, and the columns of the table represent attributes of those records or tuples. Secret data, number 5, secret data is defined as information whose improper disclosure would cause serious damage to national security. Number 6, prototype systems can provide significant time and cost savings. As you build a part of it, you build a prototype sample to see if you're on the right track. Number 7, data remnants is a security vulnerability that exists when used computing devices are not properly sanitized. Take a hammer to it when in doubt. Yeah, we got this one right. I didn't like it, but number 8, mean time before. That is not mean time before failure. That is mean time between failure, is what that acronym is supposed to say. But whoever wrote this question just completely created a whole new definition for this acronym. This should be mean time to failure is used to prepare for hardware failures and the expected cost of replacing it. The mean time to repair is the time needed to get the device fixed and back into production. And once it's back in production, then mean time between failure, between the first failure and the second failure is MTBF. But we are dealing with practice questions. Number 9, TACACS combines its authentication and authorization processes because it doesn't have the modular capability. XTAC Acts separates authentication, authorization, and accounting processes, and TAC Acts Plus is XTAC Acts with extended two-factor authentication. So TAC Acts Plus also separates authentication, authorization, and accounting or an auditing, but adds two-factor authentication. TAC Acts uses fixed passwords for authentication. TAC Acts Plus allows users to use dynamic one-time passwords. Yeah, this was a layup. Number 10, senior management issues policies that give high-level instructions on what to accomplish and who's responsible for each goal to be properly accomplished. Number 11, discretionary access control. Access to a resource within a DAC system is left to the discretion of the resource's individual owner, or more generally, to the discretion of the administrators in control of the system that houses and provides access to the resource. Did we go against Steve on this one?
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Yeah, doggone it, we should learn our lesson, right? I thought this one was misleading. Potential loss of a disaster. BIA, I guess it will talk about what processes are more critical, but I thought its focus was on just identifying critical business processes and the resources that are used, not necessarily. I thought risk management was a better, or risk assessment was a better answer there, but the BIA assesses potential loss that could be caused by a disaster. Wow. I'm not sure I agree with that one, quite frankly.
Hey, Donald, on this particular question here, I remember you saying that this is that the test is a managerial test, and if you look at this question in that perspective, B is one level higher than C. C might be considered more technical in this particular question. Am I right there, where it's supposed to be an inch deep and a mile wide? Did we go too deep?
I guess. I mean, I'm not sure I'd consider risk assessment to be a technical endeavor unless
I'm talking about the rest of the question answers. I mean, in comparison.
Yeah, I don't know. My mental picture tells me that the BIA is going to help you identify critical business processes, not necessarily loss potential from a disaster. The risk assessment is going to look at the likelihood versus the impact of that threat overcoming the vulnerability. That's going to give you a better assessment of the potential for loss, in my opinion. But yeah, yeah.
Let me interject for that one, if you could go back. Just to give you an input, risk assessment is a part of the business impact analysis.
Right.
So that's what I think they're thinking in regards to that question. So if you tie it all into it, a risk assessment is a part of the BIA, and that's probably why it's the correct answer.
Well,
right.
That to me, a business impact assessment, you're just looking at the impact of that disaster. Risk, to me, you're measuring likelihood and impact, not just impact. And I don't know. I don't correlate BIA with risk assessment. I separate them completely. They're two completely separate tasks, in my opinion. But I like your justification there, Lynn. I just my mental picture, and it always tell folks to stick with your mental picture, and because it'll allow you to stay consistent on the exam, and I think that can serve you better than you can imagine. So I'd be willing to get one wrong here if it defies my mental picture, because it'll allow me to be consistent across the exam.
Well, I think the self-fulfilling prophecy has come to light because we went against Steve, and here we are.
Right. Right. I keep telling myself, man, I'll learn one of these days. All right.
I think we need to start calling these Steve instead of just Steve.
Right.
We'll just call him this Steve.
Right.
What does the Steve say?
The Steve. All right. Number 13. What is social engineering? This was a layup. Trying to manipulate users to do something they otherwise wouldn't do to break the security policy. All right, we got this one right. Number 14. Proxies are the sort of devices that don't pass packets, but rather maintain separate connections for each host. So A and D are incorrect. Packet filtering routers are usually the first, not the last line of defense. But yeah, stateful inspection is going to look at traffic coming from inside the network to outside. It's going to get an idea of what type of packets are going out, and then it's going to only allow those types of packets to come back in. All right, doggone it. When a system is said to be operating in a problem state, the system is executing an application. Oh goodness, this is ridiculous.
Wow. That is.
Yeah, I don't like this at all. The explanation says a problem state means that an application code is executing and the system is in the process of solving the problems or challenges presented by that application. Ring 0 and 1 are reserved for executing privileged instructions specific to the operating system and its kernel. That's a good point. While these will be called into play by an application, when they are executing, the system is said to be in supervisory state. Ready state is the term used to indicate the time between application execution when other states like supervisory or wait states are invoked, but the application stands ready to resume execution when these other routines are finished. A system can be said to be in a fault state when operations cease to execute altogether, but this is not considered an operating state. Okay. When a system is said to be operating in a problem state. Okay, the system is executing. All right, I think I get that. I understand that. All right, number 16, this was a layup. Data owner decides how data sets will be classified and protected and ensures that the agreed upon mechanisms are in place and working correctly. Data owners are typically department heads. Number 17, security should be involved right at the initiation of a new project when requirements are being defined. We got this one right, number 18. Cache memory is a type of memory that holds specific information that needs to be accessed often. And then 19, let's see here. Radius TACX. Oh, wow. Yeah, this one's on me.
That was the one I was going for first, but then it was a 50-50. I saw a user.
Yeah. Allows a server to request another credential set from the user. So Radius and TACAX Plus are client server protocols, which means that the server portion cannot send unsolicited commands to the client portion. Okay, that's the key point there. The server portion can only speak when spoken to. Diameter is a peer-based protocol that allows either end to initiate communication. This functionality allows the Diameter server to send a message to the access server asking for the user to provide another authentication credential if attempting to access a secure resource or possibly disconnect the user for one reason or another. Okay. Yeah, another reason why I like doing practice questions. You can have the theory and concepts and all together, but how you apply your knowledge to these scenarios is important. And then I always learn some more technical information than I did studying the concepts when I do practice questions. All right, number 20. Which of the following best describes a continuity of operations plan? The continuity of operations plan establishes senior management and a headquarters after a disaster. It outlines roles and authorizes orders of succession and individual role tasks.
Hey Don, quick question on that one. So that's a coop, right? Is the coop the same as a failover site, or is that different?
I think of them as the same. Your alternate processing site could be called your coop site,
Okay.
but the origin of that word goes back to I think it was Carnegie Mellon. Actually, I think they took that over from the government. It started out with the place that you would take the president in the event of a nuclear war or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Interesting. All right.
Yeah, COOP. Yeah, so a COOP plan. The fact that they're using the word continuity of operations. Um, if they use the acronym COOP, when I see that, I think of an alternate processing site. When I see the word continuity, I'm thinking of, maintaining business operations in the event of any type of issue or whether it's a disaster or something small.
So you don't think they're the same then, the abbreviation and when it's spelled out?
No, I don't. I see that word continuity, and I'm thinking of not just the disaster, but anything that happens. If a automated system goes down, you have to go to a manual process to maintain business continuity. I think if you put the word business in front of it, business continuity is different from continuity of operations plan.
Right. Okay, but it looks like the answer here is also talking about a separate site, like a different site, right?
Yeah.
A headquarters?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I get what you're saying.
That's a good point. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tim, because I needed to talk my way through that to help you and me, really.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, I think we owe, who was that drove us on this one?
I did.
Okay.
Eric,
yeah. Yeah, we never get your name because you dial in, right?
Yeah, I dial in. That's all right.
Okay.
I don't have to. I just do that. So.
Or two. I get a lot of people that I know who say they dialed in just to listen in for a few minutes to check out the session, and I didn't even know they were there. All right, number 21. The following are the correct rate level mapping characteristics. So rate 3 is byte level parity. Rate 4 is block level parity. Rate 5 is interleave parity, and rate 1 is mirroring.
Let me say something about this for a second. RAID 5. Anytime you see interleave, think of striping, because that's really what they're talking about. Because you will see striping a lot of times over interleave. So, and typically when you look at books or you look at material about RAID systems, they talk about striping over parity. So just keep that in mind, that those two things are completely interchangeable.
Oh, that explains it, because that's how I usually understood it. I have it on my cubicle at work. They always talk about striping parity, minimum 3 disk, and I didn't know what interleave. Never even seen it before.
Right. Well, it's a rare thing for it to show up anywhere, but that's what it means.
All right, I'm actually updating my muscle memory chart and saving that sucker. All right, appreciate that.
Sure.
Number 22, yeah, the MPLS multi-protocol label switching gives service providers the ability to create VPNs without the need of end-user applications. So the correct, the one that's not a benefit of MPLS is VPNs can be created in combination with end-user applications. But MPLS gives service providers the ability to create VPNs without the need of end-user applications. I think that's too technical. But all right, number 23, we guessed right on this one. What is untrue packet filtering firewall? It's high security is not true. So packet filtering firewalls offer low levels of security. One reason for which is their inability to screen a protocol. They'd have to work at a higher level, the OSI model, to see more information like protocols. However, they are application independent. They are highly scalable and they perform at a high level. Number 24, interface testing is the systematic evaluation of the data exchange points between a user and a software program's graphical user interface, GUI. Yeah, and we got this one right this time. Number 25, the process of degaussing is achieved by passing the magnetic media through a powerful magnet field to rearrange the metallic particles, completely removing completely removing any resemblance of the previously recorded signal. The gaussing, overriding, and destruction constitute the sanitation of some media. I would not put overriding in the same category as the gaussing and destruction. This addresses storage facilities, not data buses. Storage facilities are storage and memory. Yeah, what were you going to say there, Eric?
Nothing. I was agreeing with what you were saying.
Okay. All right. All right,
that
guys.
Overriding doesn't belong there.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't belong there. But okay. Not too bad today. Thanks, Lynn, for joining us. If you guys that came in pretty late, Lynn passed the exam and she's still hanging out with us. And I think she wants to start doing some training. So we might have to talk, Lynn.
I am not to do any training, but I will do a lot of encouraging and cheerleading. I think you guys are doing a wonderful step by following Donald. Listen to his mantra. Listen to him all the time. Like you said, when you're riding in your car, when you're use his YouTube videos, everything, his flash drives, his books. Read it, dream it, believe it.
I'll tell you, I don't need to hire a marketing company, that's for sure. I'll just call on you, Lynn. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Lynn, and congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
I can go for that CISSP, right? Or hire that CISSP.
There you go. All right, guys, enjoy the rest.